So here we are today with former city councillor Isadore Goldberg, who served his country not only as an elected official, but also as a member of the armed forces in the Second World War.
Well, I enlisted because what was going on in Europe when Germany invaded all these other countries. And at that time, I was about 16 years of age. I was too young to enlist. In our street, which I lived, Esplanade, half the streets were in the services. And most of them were volunteers. Some of them were drafted, but most of them were volunteers. My brother had joined in 1939 at the beginning of the war, and I said went overseas. And then my other brother, Saul, also joined on his own. And myself, we were all volunteers. We did not have to be drafted. I couldn't get into the regular army till 18 years and 8 months. That was the age before you could enroll. Prior to that, I served in the reserve, and that was on Côte de Neige, right across the road to the cemetery. So when I came up, I should say 18 years and 8 months, I think it was, I started to enroll in the regular army. My parents, who came from Europe, my father came here in 1903, raised 6 boys and 2 girls. And out of these 6 boys, 3 of us served as volunteers overseas. My job was admission administration work.
At where?
Admission and in the hospital, with the general hospital, with 3 different hospitals outside of London.
What was the boat you took to England? Tell us about
I remember
that.
HMS ABBA, ABA. It was an old cargo ship. 14 days to get there, and I told you 90% of the people were sick. I couldn't go down to sleep downstairs. I had slept in the mess hall. And when we landed, we were supposed to land in England, we landed in Scotland. And I'll tell you, Mitchell, the rains came down. It didn't take a second, we were drenched. I wasn't used to the food that we were serving. You hardly seen an egg until I met my friend Doug Young, who knew his way around. He was quite a guy. And he says, "You want some eggs?" I said, "Doug, where'd you get eggs?" He had chickens in the back. He must have sold some chickens. He was quite a guy, you know. He was my right-hand man. And silk stockings and cigarettes. I didn't smoke. Now, cigarettes was like gold, but I gave it away. I didn't sell it. Some people sold it. 900 cigarettes a month.
Okay, the government gave you 900 cigarettes a month.
Yeah, the cigarettes I smoked, I'd say I didn't smoke. I smoked after. I smoked a pipe after. I was there till the end of the war, and stayed a year after the war. Then my parents would say, "Why don't you come home?" and this and that, and I was getting used to the life, and I thought I'd end up playing hockey there, and I met a lot of people I knew there. But then I decided, well, I got fed up, and I said, well, put me on the next draft. On VE Day, we gather to pay our respects to those who served in the Allied armies, men and women, volunteers, who needlessly gave their lives so that we can live in liberty and to have peace in future years.